Hello and welcome, friends. This is the launch of my Easy Postage Printable Cards for Cubs edition. So, this month is a month-long card drive run by Cards for Cubs, which is a nonprofit organization started by Barely Art, the maker of all of our favorite crafty glue. And I'm really excited. I have been working with Cards for Cubs for a while now. I was on their design team when they had one, and it was really great fun just trying to spread awareness about the Cards for Cubs organization. And this year, they reached out to me and, by extension, the Creator Collective to help promote and just bring awareness to their card drive. So, all of February and now into March, you can create cards and donate them to the Cards for Cubs. What they do is they gather up everybody's donated handmade cards and they send them to foster agencies around the country. So, Cards for Cubs is based in Texas, but they have reached out to foster care organizations all over the country. I don't know what the current count is in terms of the number of foster care agencies that they support, but they send boxes and boxes of cards out to all of these fabulous agencies who in turn then give the cards to kids and young adults who are in the foster care system. So, if you missed it, we had just a really fabulous March 2nd live stream card making marathon. It was a 12-hour card making marathon. At the time of my recording this, that event has not yet happened, but I am sure I'm sure it was a fabulous time had by all. And in fact, I'm pretty sure I'll probably sneaky peek what I'm showing to you now, and likely making it available to you early. But I made my March releases, both my Easy Card Making Kit, which came out on the first of the month, and this Easy Postage Printable, themed for Cards for Cubs. These are all different kinds of cubs. And if you're new to my Easy Postage Printables, I've designed them to be cut with Easy Wonder die number 3. That's why this Easy Guide version looks so odd, specifically this area right here. The reason for that is when you line this die up, it's actually going to cut these images perfectly as postage stamp designs that then you can layer right back into the postage grid spot here. So what you want to do is take the oddball corner, so the one that's not 90 degrees. This is still 90 degrees even though it's got a fancy edge to it, but take the corner that is the fishtail banner edge and position that in the upper right hand corner. And when you do that, what you'll find is these 3 images line up perfectly with these 3 blocks. Those 3 images line up perfectly with these 3 blocks. Now those images then in turn line up to be layered right back onto your postage grid, which is going to be this section here. And I'll demonstrate how to cut this at the end of this video. The additional images that you will see along the rest of the page is to fill out the rest of the 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and make, give you the most bang for your buck when you're buying this digital. And it has been designed so that you have 10 additional images, and 10 is a magic number because if you look at the postage grid, there's actually 5 grid locations. So I've given you 2 full sets of additional sort of postage stamp designs. One set of 5 will be perfect if you orient your grid as a landscape. The other set of 5 are perfect if you orient your grid as a portrait. And so probably the easiest one to see that as an example of is this is the largest image that goes into the largest grid spot. And you can see that one is in the portrait orientation, and this one is in the landscape orientation. Now, if you have the Easy Wonder Die number 3 add-on die set, you can use your add-on dies to cut out these additional images. And they have been designed so that, again, you can, if you want, layer them right back into your postage grid. The spacing in the border is a little bit different because these mats also work perfect for cutting a border around the original postage stamp designs that come off of the main Easy Wonder die. So these additional add-ons are meant as a matte layer behind, but sometimes it's nicer to have like a larger image, so that's why I designed the Easy Postage Printable so that you have main images that you can cut with your add-on dies. And these are just straight border edges, so you don't even need to stick to the postage theme if you don't want to. So that's the easy guide. One of the things that I want to share is that I am transitioning my website over to Shopify, and what you'll find now is the postage printables are offered as a full collection only. I used to be able to offer the easy guide as one variation or way to purchase, but I don't have that exact same functionality on Shopify. So the only option to get it is as a full bundle with the 2 additional extra printables. Now, what I've done with these 2 printables is I've taken your 10 extra images here. You might be able to tell that they are a little bit clipped off, and the reason for that is because they've been sized and scaled to be cut with your Easy Wonder add-on die. But what I've done is taken those, and the landscape ones I've grouped together on one printable, the portrait ones I've grouped together on a second printable. So they are in their groupings, and I've given you the full image with the postage border and everything. So for example, you can see here, this is the panda on the Easy Guide version. It's clipped and scaled to be cut by the square add-on die. The scale is the same here. I just gave you the rest of the image, and that way if you want, you could still use that square die, add-on die, to cut it out. Or if you prefer, you can use a different die because you have the full image, and so that gives you more options, more variations, more ways to craft. The whole idea behind giving you an easy guide that's very tailored for my dies is to make it really easy for folks who do have my dies to craft with these printables. But the reason to give you the extra images is so that you have a lot of freedom and flexibility to craft the way that you want to craft and use other things in your stash, and or use your Easy Wonder dies but in different ways. So for example, this is designed to be cut with the largest die. You can see these are the 2 small ones, which are designed to be cut with the smallest rectangle. This, as I mentioned earlier, can be cut with your square die, but on the original, I clipped it this way. But if you want more of the panda and you don't care too much about that 5-cent postage mark, you can shift that down a little bit and cut him out that way. This one here is designed for your medium die, but there's nothing to say that you can't use, if it fits, this medium die could be used to cut that, which I had originally designed for the small one, but the image is large enough that I could use the medium rectangle for that. I could use the medium rectangle here and kind of crop him out a little bit differently so that he's not postage themed at all. So lots of different ways that you can cut these out. You can even send it through your brother's scan and cut, and have it cut the postage border and everything, or even fussy cut if you're into that sort of thing. So again, here's the other set of 5, and like this one here, I think just about fits on the large die. That's not meant for the large die. This is the original one that was designed to go with the large die. This one is actually, I think, meant to go with the medium rectangle. And this is your square, and these are your small. But again, if you can find a die that fits, then use it however you would like. You could use the square die here too. So these extras are really meant to give you lots of freedom and flexibility to craft with. And let me quickly give you a demonstration for how to cut this. So I'm going to start with the easy guide for all of you out there who do have Easy Wonder die number 3. What I like to do is just first cut out this section, and I'll show you how to line up these as well with the add-ons. So I'm going to cut this down right where the border is. Don't worry, there's plenty of space for the die. There's lots of wiggle room. But I'm cutting it down that way so that it fits through a 6-inch machine, because I think that's what most people probably have. And that's the smallest size that you'll need. This is gonna fit perfectly through my Big Shot. Now, a couple of tips and tricks. If you caught any of my launch videos, I give lots of tips and tricks in the last 2 launches. And what you want to do is, if you're looking at the Easy Guide version like this, what you want to do is take your fishtail border and put it in the upper right corner. It might be hard to see, but there's actually a white line printed. And that actually tells you where a 6-inch paper border would normally be, because the Easy Wonder dies were originally designed to smash your 6x6 paper pads. And you could definitely do that, but I like having the printables because it kind of lines things up just right. And it gives me the focal images and everything that I need to complete a card. And in the case of the Easy card making kits, you even get sentiments. So, okay. So, couple of tips. You want to cut face up into a plastic cutting plate. Now, if you're a Magic Mat fan, just set that aside for your for now, because this is kind of squishy. It's softer to cut into, so it won't give you quite as clean of a cut. So you just want to put this on. If you cut any die that you cut, if you're cutting it face with the cutting edge face up, that too will help you to get a better cut. And these are general guidelines. If you're struggling with any die, getting it to cut cleanly, consistently, try these tips because they will help with that as well. The other thing is, this being such a big die, set it, there's not a lot of wiggle room, but set it as much of, at as much of an angle as you can, so that the rollers go across this a little bit more, so that the pressure doesn't just hit like a straight line speed bump, but rather if it's tilted a little bit and your roller is going through straight, it's just going to catch a little bit of that edge, which allows it to give more pressure on those cutting edges, as opposed to hitting a straight line and having the same amount of pressure exerted across the entire line rather than like a single point on the line. So you might not be able to tilt it too much, but tilt it as much as you're able to. And then let that go through your die cutting machine. I'm using the new Sizzix Big Shot for this. And just one time through, but if you want, you can bring it on back. But look, you can see it came out great. I don't even have to do any, there's one little dot here, but not a lot of weeding. And this, I try to design these so that there's like just a little bit of wiggle room, so you can kind of see what I mean by the little bit of wiggle room. There's a little bit of a border. I didn't get that perfectly straight, but when you line this back up, because it's kind of the same blue border, it's really hard to tell that I was a little bit off. Now these small ones, there are 3 options, but only 2 actually fit into the grid, so you'll have 1 left over. And you can see this goes there, this one goes there, and this goes there. Now you can use them all or save some for a second card, because there's lots of other little basic shapes. This is a great one to stamp a sentiment into. This is great maybe for the inside of the card. You can just add a little extra, banner going across the inside and put your extra little postage stamp design there as well. So lots of ways to fill a sketch. And of course, if you need more inspiration, as with all of the Easy Wonder dies, you can just flip to the back of the packaging and you'll have a couple of card sketch designs to use all of those pieces. So, I do have some weeding to do here, these little half dots. There we go. So everything cut really beautifully, perfectly. That's ready to go. Next up, let me cut these extras just so that you can see. Before you cut with this again, do make sure to weed all of those out, because if you leave those stuck in there and you die cut again, it can prevent you from getting a nice clean cut the next time. And you just don't want those pieces to build up in your die either. Okay, so as I mentioned, these were designed to be cut with the add-on to Easy Wonder die number 3. And this particular one that comes on the Easy Guide printable, it's already been, sized, scaled down, and clipped, so that there's not a lot of excess or, extra printed image. So it kind of helps you to maybe save a little bit of ink, and at the same time gives me the ability to give you all 10 images. So that's why these are all clipped, because in any case, the Easy Guide is designed for folks who have the Easy Wonder die. So I want to just make it easy for you if you do have the die. Okay, so now we can just start arranging this, and you don't necessarily have to use the die that was that this was suggested for. In some cases, you can maybe find a different size die. Like this is the smallest one. Maybe I want to frame him that way instead. You can totally do that. But basically, when you're positioning these, you just want to not see any of the image. So the image goes basically to the border of the metal. And if you don't see any of the image, like if it's like this, then you're a little bit off and you're going to get some white on that side. So long as you can't see any of the printed image, then you're good to go. There is a little bit of wiggle room. So if you're not perfect, it's not the end of, the world. I'll show you in a moment when I pass this through. I'm risking it by not really taping anything down. But I also have the wrong sandwich, so I've got an extra cutting plate in here. So with these ones, you can see that I'm cutting into my magic mat, and that is totally okay with these dies because they're smaller, they're just open frame dies, and they should cut just fine. But I am putting everything at a little bit of an angle so that when it goes through, it just doesn't hit any straight lines, and it's more likely to give you a nice clean cut, even into the magic mat. All right, so here's that. And so there you can see how we've got, now there's 2 of the smallest postage stamp design for the postage grid. These cut so well, they're kind of stuck in my mat here. So there's that. And if I bring my postage grid back out, here's the difference. So this is the square add-on die, and just to flip to the back, if you wanted, you can use that as a matte layer and then put it right back in this grid spot like that. The difference is that there's more of your postage grid visible if you use the image that cut with the grid. So you can see the stitch border detailing on the grid itself and the border surrounding. But if you use the larger version that the add-on die cuts, this basically covers that stitch border detailing. So you don't lose any of the stitch border detailing. You just see less of your grid. This is a good option. I like it when I'm just cutting the postage grid out of, say, solid color cardstock, and I plan to fill each and every grid location. Or something like this where it's a pretty subtle ombre almost. Sometimes I like having the postage grid have more of a design to it, and in those cases, sometimes I don't even cover up some of these grid locations. I just leave it as the pattern printed on the image. But in a case like this, I would probably cover up most of these grid locations, if not all of them, either with images or possibly with sentiments. And so some of these are, this one is a landscape or a one where it's portrait oriented, but that gives you an idea for, how to use your add-on dies to cut the easy guide. And what I like to do is just, cut everything, leave it all in a nice stack. With these ones, maybe I'll send them through my brother's scan and cut so that I have that really nice full image to craft with. But the ones that were on the easy guide, I like to just have them all cut, and then when I go to craft, I'll have lots of options to craft with. So that is an example of a quick demonstration for how to line these up, how to cut them, and I really hope that you craft with this kit, whether you are donating cards to the Cards for Cubs, or you just want to make some fun cards for, I think these images would be great for kids of all ages. They're just super adorable, and even though they are little cubs, I think even adults would enjoy cards with these images. So I hope you have fun crafting with them. If you do craft with any of my printables or with any of my Easy Wonder dies, I hope that you will join me on Facebook in the Easy Wonder Inspiration Facebook group. I love seeing how everybody works with the printables, how everybody creates different layouts and designs with the Easy Wonder dies. It always gives me inspiration and different ideas to craft with the dies. So I love that it's a nice community to share and swap ideas with. And a great place if you're looking for inspiration to find some extra inspiration as well. So I'll leave links to everything, including information about the Cards for Cubs card drive if you are interested in supporting the organization and making some cards to donate. I hope you'll consider doing that. And we did have a live stream hop 12-hour card making marathon, so that's available for replay if you want to. I'm planning to kind of prepare all of these pieces so that I can actually craft with them during that live stream marathon. So if you actually want to see me putting together some cards featuring these printables, this one and the easy card making kit that came out on the 1st of the month, then pop on back and catch the replay of that if you missed it. Thanks again for checking out my video, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.